esteemed guests, faculty members and students. I, Kirti Anand, President of Legal Aid Clinic, and alongside me is Swati Rathi, Vice President of Clinic. It is our privilege to welcome you all today on behalf of Hitaradan International Business School. We are gathered here for a significant and thought-provoking session on the topic New Crimes Against Women and Children and the Importance of Free Legal Aid. The safety and well-being of women and children are fundamental principles of a progressive and thriving society. Unfortunately, we are witnessing the emergence of new forms of crimes that specifically target these vulnerable groups. This alarming reality makes the availability of free legal aid more critical than ever. Today's session is dedicated to raising awareness about these crimes, understanding their impacts, and highlighting the resources available to support victims.
Now, I would like to introduce our resource person. Mr. Sarabjit Singh Narula is the Managing Partner and Litigation Head of Rem Juris Law Firm. He is a Delhi-based lawyer and a social worker working for the welfare of minorities and marginalized groups. Looking at his extensive work for the upliftment of minorities, Delhi Minority Commission was pleased to appoint him as an advisor to Delhi Minority Commission, Delhi Government. He holds experience in efficiently handling varied cases and makes appearances across Supreme Court of India, Delhi High Courts, District Courts of Delhi, Consumer Commissions, Armed Force Tribunals, NCLT, NCLAT, Railway Claim Tribunals, DRT, DRAT and other tribunals. He avidly believes in achieving the objectives of the firm's client with compassion and accurate advocacy. Advocate Sarabjit Singh is known for providing timely and responsive legal services for his clients by providing them the most expeditious legal course of action. It is our honor to have with us Mr. Sarabjit Singh Narula, who has been a steadfast advocate for justice and equality. With a wealth of experience and remarkable contributions in this field, Mr. Narula will be sharing his invaluable insights on the present issue.
Now, before we proceed, let me take a moment to introduce Hitaradan International Business School, an institution that prides itself on empowering students with knowledge, skills and platforms to excel. Established in 2004, GIBS is affiliated with Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE and the Bar Council of India for its law programs. The institute offers a variety of courses including MBA, MBA International Business, MBA Integrated, BBA Honours, BLLB, BBA LLB and LLM. GIBS has consistently been recognized for its excellence. Accredited with A grade by NAC in its third cycle, rated A+ by the State Free Regulatory Committee under the NCT of Delhi, earned the highest grading of A by the Joint Inspection Committee of the Government of NCT of Delhi and GGSIPU since 2013. Rated grade A by the Academic Audit Cell of GGSIPU since 2011.
Now, to formally welcome our distinguished guests, I kindly request our respected Director Sir to present a green token of gratitude to Mr. Sarabjit Singh Narula.
Thanks for sparing time for this valuable session.
Thank you, sir. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, let us lend our attention to Mr. Narula as he enlightens us on the complexities of new crimes against women and children and the pivotal role of free legal aid. Over to you, sir.
The crime against women. For example, if I say you, A commit a crime of theft or snatching a phone from a woman, so will that fall under the category of crime against women? So what do we mean by the term crime against women? Mike, please.
Sir, it's the particular section given, chapter given in the IPC with crime against women.
That is completely right. But what do we mean by the term crime against?
Sir, these are the...
What is the essence of the term?
Sir, according to me, these these are the specialized crimes which can occur only against women, especially.
So the term crime against women or crime against children, to my understanding, to my limited understanding, means that all those crimes which occurs or which are committed against women or children only on the pretext that they are women. Women have been considered as a marginalized, as dasis, as a section which is below male since time immemorial. So all those crimes which occur specifically against women only on the pretext that they are women are all crime against women. For example, if I say, let us go on a very limited, on a very narrow aspect. If I say that I am a woman, I get married to a man. So in Indian concept, husband is called as pati and woman is called as patni. So what do we mean by the term pati for that matter? I am just here to explain you what is the mindset. Why the crimes are occurring against women. I am here to explain you that. So what do we mean by the term pati for that matter? Can anyone explain me the literal meaning of pati? चलो इसको थोड़ा सा इजी कर देते हैं. If I say that I am a करोड़पति, then what does that mean?
करोड़ों का मालिक.
करोड़ों का मालिक. तो करोड़पति का मतलब अगर if I split the meaning, split the word करोड़ and पति, तो करोड़ means करोड़ों का पति, करोड़ों का मालिक. तो पति का मतलब क्या हुआ? मालिक, owner. So for that matter, women have been considered as slaves, as dasis, as a gender which is subordinate to male, and this is where the crime against women incels. तो क्राइम होता ही तब है जब हम एक बंदे को अपने से इंफीरियर समझते हैं, किसी एक बंदे को, किसी एक जेंडर को, किसी एक कम्युनिटी को. If we considered a community as something which is lower, at a lower pedestal, only then is the situation जहाँ पे क्राइम होगा. क्या कभी किसी ने अपने, आज सपोजिंगली मैं एक स्टूडेंट हूं, कैन एनीवन मिसबिहेव विद हर प्रोफेसर और हर डीन? नहीं होगा, मुश्किल है. मेरे को पता है कि अगर मैं मिसबिहेव करता हूं अपने प्रोफेसर से, अपने डीन से, तो आई नो द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. आई हैव द फियर इन माय माइंड कि आज अगर मैंने मिसबिहेव किया किसी अपने सीनियर से, किसी अपने बॉस से, किसी अपने डीन से, तो आई नो द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस. या तो अगर मैं जॉब कर रहा हूं और अपने बॉस से मैंने मिसबिहेव किया तो आई विल बी थ्रोन आउट ऑफ द जॉब. इफ आई एम मिसबिहेविंग विद माय टीचर्स देन आई विल बी सस्पेंडेड. तो हम फोर्स दिखाते किसके ऊपर है? खाली उसके ऊपर जो हमें पता है, जिसके ऊपर मैंने फोर्स कोई एक्शन किया, कुछ काम किया, तो मेरे ऊपर कोई कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस नहीं होंगे. Only that is the situation जहाँ पे हम ये काम करते हैं. So this is the basic meaning of crime against women. कोई guess कर सकता है कि कितने % ऐसी women होंगी या ऐसे out of the entire population or out of the entire reported crimes in India? Can anyone tell on an estimate कि कितने % ऐसे cases होंगे जो crime against women होते हैं? Rough idea, 5%, 10%, 15%. Can anyone have a rough idea on this particular aspect? 70 to 80%. Yes, ma'am.
60%.
60%. Anyone else?
90%.
So, on an average, if I say, ma'am, please, can you please control your laugh and laughter and all those losses that you're encountering? I'm here to just have an interactive session. If you wish, you can come here and we can all laugh on it too. So, if I say the estimate crime against women, there is a report by National Family Health Survey which says that, and this is a government report, it says that approximately 40% of all of the crimes which are reported in the session, out of them 40% of the crimes are against women. And if we go, now we know that the government's data is always less, on a lesser pedestal. But if we go on the private reports, which are also funded by the government, there is a report by Uganda Educational Society for Planning Commission. It says that approximately 84% of the complete crime which are recorded are crimes against women. And out of this 84% of the crimes which are recorded in this section, out of this 84%, majority of the chunk is crime against women which occurs at the domestic level. So these are domestic violence which are occurring against the women. So now comes the question that what do we mean by domestic violence? Who are these women against whom the domestic violence is being conducted? Can anyone guess?
Sir, homemade
Homemade
wives होती है सर.
खाली वाइफ होती हैं?
सर women
नहीं, women की definition क्या है?
any female.
Any female having who is residing in a domestic relation in a woman as per the protection of domestic violence against women. So if I talk about protection of violence against domestic protection of violence against women, any woman who is residing at the domestic pedestrian will, and any offence which is occurred against her will account to be domestic violence against that concerned woman. And now violence does not account only to the physical violence, it also accounts to the mental torture or harassment which occurred to the woman. So if I say, and I am asking you whether this will account into domestic violence or not. If I say that I am a wife, I reside in my matrimonial home. My husband on daily basis beats me, gives me thrashes, hold my hair, punch me. Will this account to domestic violence?
Yes, sir.
If I say that my husband do not earn very well, he has a very meager earning. I, coming from a well-to family, have very high expectations from my husband. But due to some reasons, he is not able to perform that. So, in that thing, he is not able to give me enough money for my succession. Will that also account to domestic violence?
Yes, sir.
So some of you say that it will not amount to domestic violence. Some of you say that it will amount to domestic violence. Can I know the reasons behind it? Who says no? Can you raise your hand? जो भी no कह रहे हैं? Mic
Sir, any form of physical or mental abuse will amount to domestic
So
violence.
how does, if I say that I am earning 100 rupees for that matter, I'm a husband, I am earning 100 rupees for that matter in a month. You are a body coming from a well-to family. You were receiving a pocket money of 200 for that month. I was also earning that much, but due to some change of job or change of circumstances, or after COVID, I lost my job and I am earning meager 100. So, what is the role or duty of a wife for that matter? Will that amount to domestic violence? And if that is a mental harassment, then how is it mental harassment?
So these are just the result of high expectations. I won't say it is the mental abuse caused by the husband. Like suppose if he is not giving her the money or the basic necessities are not fulfilled, then it is
Very
it will amount to domestic
Very
violence. But if the basic necessities of like food, clothing, shelter they are fulfilled, then it won't amount. So in this case, I don't think it is mental abuse.
Very correct, absolutely. So now, have you all guys read Domestic Violence Act, Protection of Domestic Violence Act? Have you read it? So what is the purpose of domestic protection of women from domestic violence? What is the purpose of inception of this particular act? Can anyone tell me? An affirmative answer that you have read, you have studied this act. So can anyone tell me that what is the purpose of the inception? Why was this act incepted on the very first place? Anyone? Please, ma'am.
Sir, I guess for the upliftment of the woman and to stop the any like abuse regarding the woman like faced by them. I guess for the upliftment.
What kind of abuses?
Sir, any like mental, physical or done by the male in the house.
And what kind of protection does the act provide?
Sir, I am not very well aware about
Okay. So the very purpose, the very basic purpose of this act was to prevent all women. It can be my mother, it can be my mother-in-law, it can be my sister, it can be my wife, it can be my daughter. Any woman residing in a domestic relation who is subjected to domestic violence shall be protected. This was the basic funda of this act. So how does this act help you all in all those things? A, this act primarily, and I guess many of you might have done your internship in the court, and in your internship you might have faced a number of cases dealing with domestic violence act. But to my surprise, I have not seen many of the advocates who perform or who file appropriate applications which are provided in this statute, which help you to attain the very objective of the act. So now what does this act say? A, on the very first basis, this act provides the power to the judicial magistrate to send both the parties before a counsellor to explore the opportunity. Now supposing I am subjected to a domestic violence, I can file a case against my husband or anyone who has committed the offence of domestic violence under section 12 of Domestic Violence Act. This is a complaint. Along with section 12, what all relief can I ask? I can ask for, yes sir.
Sir, monetary reliefs.
Monetary relief.
Custody orders.
Custody order.
Sir, any basic necessities.
Achha, tell me about what do you mean by the term custody?
Sir, custody of the children.
Custody of a children. So is it a permanent order or is it an interim order?
Sir, it may be interim.
It is only an interim order. If I need to ask for custody of a child, then there are separate remedies available. There are separate statutes available. The power is limited to the family code. So for the interim order, we can ask for custody, protection order, residence order. We can ask for monetary relief in the domestic violence complaint. But then, have you guys read section 14 of the Act? I would request you everyone to take out their phone and open the Domestic Violence Act for a moment. Have you guys opened it?
Yes, sir.
Can anyone read it for me? Sir, can you please read it for me? Read it aloud. अगर निकाल लिए हाँ.
Sir, it empowers the magistrate to send both the parties to the counseling session and mediation.
Only to the counseling or mediation or both?
Sir, according to this board.
Have you taken up now? Okay. So this act says that it empowers the judicial magistrate to send or to refer the parties before the counsellor to explore the possibilities, to give the counseling session and to explore the possibilities of settlement. The very objective of the act is A, to prevent the woman from domestic violence, and secondly, to ensure that the possibilities are explored so that the marital ties are not broken up. We do not want to establish a state or country where each and every house have that particular thing that each and every marital relating are breaking up. We do not want that. But then the purpose is to save the women, to save each and every woman who are subjected to domestic violence. Okay. Now, sir, do you have the PDF that I have shared? Can you please open the very first PDF, crime against women? So crime against women include any act of gender basis violence that result in or is likely to result in physical, sexual or psychological harm or suffering to women, including threat or such act of coercion, arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in private or public life. So there are, now this particular line says that any right which are being deprived either in private or public life. What do we mean by the private life and what do we mean by the term public life? Very little meaning. Can anyone assist me?
Private
Okay.
life means
Yes.
private life means at home, public life means outside of this life.
Very well. Very simple meaning. So private life means any relation that I do have, being a woman, with my close mate at a private session. Whereas public life means where, supposing I am a woman, I go to school, I go to college, I go to park, I go to work. So any crime which occurs outside my domestic house, that would be a public offense. We see on a daily basis. Supposing I am a student, I'm a woman, a female student. One of my professors do ask me for sexual favors, A, or one of my professors or one of my colleagues ask me to come, let's have a group study. So I am calling, like I am a male, I called one of the female colleagues that let's come catch over, we will study. 4 or 5 people are coming. None of them turn up. So I and my female colleague is there. I try to sexually seduce her. So will that seducing will amount to sexual harassment against women?
Yes.
Will that be a violence against women? Yes. So this is a public offense. Now coming forward, we have our constitution. Constitution, Article 14, Article 15, Article 16 provides that there shall be no discrimination in the eye of law. Then, states shall have the liberty to create special laws for women and children. We have that power under our Constitution of India. So, out of deriving the power from the Constitution of India, the states have incorporated several statutes whereby females are given several protection in this statute. So, what all statutes do we have to protect the women? A, that we have just discussed, protection of women from domestic violence. Apart from that, we have POSH. What do we mean by POSH? Can anyone tell me the full form of POSH Act? Protection of women. Protection of women. Can anyone tell me the full form of POSH? Very well. So this is an act with an objective to prevent a woman from all the sexual offences which occurs at the workplace. Right? Then we have for protecting these children, we have POSCO.
Yes.
What is the full form of POSCO?
The protection of children
Sexual offences. Prevention of children from sexual offences. What is the purpose? And I will cover each and every act in detail. This is only an introduction. What is the purpose of POSCO?
Sir, to protect the children from
To protect the children to protect the child. Now, what is the definition of a child?
Sir,
Below the age of
18 years.
But was there any prior to the amendment of 2019 and prior to the inception of 2023 Act of Bharatiya Nagrik Sanhita, Bharatiya BSA, BNSA, BNA and all those acts, prior to 2019, was there any discrimination or was there any difference in the age of our children? So prior to 2019, what was the scenario? That prior to 2019, as per the POSCO Act, the age of the child was 18, and as per the Indian Penal Code, the age of the child was 16. So there was a PIL filed before the Honorable Supreme Court that there is a discrimination. There are two different strands in the statute. One act says that the age of the child is 16 and the other act says that the age of the child is 18. So what do we have to consider? So the Honorable Court in that particular phase, though the Supreme Court do not have the power to enact any legislature, its power lies completely in the legislature. But then the Supreme Court in that particular case have taken out the discrepancies, have now enhanced the age of and now have determined that the age of children is any person who is below the age of 18. So now the act does not have any discrepancy. So coming forward, come to the second para. Second para says that the incidence of crime against women in India have been increasing continuously. That is, with 2.13 lakh reported cases in 2010, which rose to 3.37 lakh reported in 2014, and thereafter, as per the report, the cases were now 4.4 lakhs per hour, reported as per the NCRB in 2022. So from 2 lakh 13 lakhs cases reported per annum in 2010 till 4.4 lakh cases reported in 2022. The quantum of the cases have rose to 2x. And these are only the offences which are reported in the police station. There are n number of cases which goes unreported. You might have seen yourself when you undertake the internship program, you might have reported or you might have experienced that many of the police officials do not even report the cases. Many of the police officials make fun of the females, or they try to make you understand or make you settle the matters. If that is the scenario, being a law student or being a lawyer, what all rights do we have? If supposedly a crime is occurred, like I am a female and someone commit any offense that we will be discussing or we have discussed, any offense against me, I go to the police station. Now the police official denies to report my case. He says, तुमने कुछ किया होगा, supposing कि रेप मेरे साथ हो गया, तो police officer says, तुमने छोटे कपड़े पहने थे, तुमने उसको induce किया होगा, तुमने इसको seduce किया होगा, तो what all right do I have? What can I do? I am at a situation जहाँ पे I am not emotionally fit. मेरे साथ कुछ गलत हुआ है, मेरी इमोशनल वो स्टैंड नहीं है, मैं इमोशनली स्टेबल नहीं हूँ, फिजिकल मेरे साथ असॉल्ट हुआ है, मैं फिजिकली भी स्टेबल नहीं हूँ. At that particular moment, what can I do? What right do I have?
Yes, you can visit to the magistrate office.
Can I go directly to the magistrate?
Sir,
Free legal aid.
police.
Can approach to free legal aid.
लीगल एड से अप्रोच किया, बट करना क्या है? लीगल एड भी क्या करेगा? How will it help you or how will it assist you?
Sir, to the magistrate office, then magistrate can guide the police officer to report the cases.
कैसे राइट करेगा?
150.
मैं आज तैयार हो गया मैजिस्ट्रेट के सामने चला जाऊँ और मैजिस्ट्रेट मेरी हेल्प करेगा? Is it the law?
Yes, sir, and where the people can approach and tell their problems. And
Are you talking about district magistrate or are you talking about judicial magistrate?
no, sir, district.
Sir, IRS application will be filed to that magistrate.
So suppose I will just clarify your doubt. If any crime occurs, we will continue this. If any crime is like I am a victim of a crime, so police officer denies to report the case. So what right do I have as a female? A, there are multiple organizations established by the state where I can approach them, or I can go to the magistrate, but there is a process of law. The process of law says that on a primary basis, I need to write a complaint, written complaint, address it to the police official or the SHO concerned. If the SHO concerned do not assist me, then I can go to the commissioner concerned, and thereafter I can file a complaint before the magistrate under previous provision of 126(3) of CRPC, and now the new provision comes. Also, apart from that, approaching the magistrate to step into all these things, there is also departments like National Commission for Women, Commission, Delhi Women Commission. Then there is Human Rights Commission. So all these commissions have been established by the state, which help you that if in case any crime have occurred against a woman, then in those scenarios women can approach these forums, and these forums will assist you. If not, then this forum will also refer the matter to the concerned SHO and will direct the SHO. Being a constitutional body, being a statutory body, these bodies will also direct the SHO to take cognizance of these offences and report an FIR. It is an established law that if any offence against women is conducted, then FIR have to be compulsorily registered. Right? Though there are several other judgments which also keep same, but then this is a well-established law that any offence which occurred against women, FIR have to be reported without any delay, provided the offence is a cognizable, non-bailable and all those categories. Also, if any of these offences have occurred, arrest is also compulsory. Arrest of the accused is also compulsory without any delay, provided it does not fall under the ambit of Arnesh Kumar judgment. Unless it does not fall under the ambit of Arnesh Kumar judgment, arrest have to be compulsorily made. Now, Arnesh Kumar is that any offence which is less than 7 years, though it is cognizable, though it is non-bailable, the SHO concerned cannot arrest the accused without seeking the permission of magistrate concerned. If I have conducted or committed any offence, though it is non-bailable, though it is cognizable, though it is non-compoundable, even then the SHO concerned will have to take the permission from the magistrate. This is Arnesh Kumar. Yes ma'am, you were saying something?
सर आप जैसे बता रहे हैं कि मैं आपकी सारी बातों से एग्री करती हूँ कि वुमेन्स के साथ वायलेंस होता है, चिल्ड्रंस के साथ वायलेंस होता है, ठीक है, मैं आपकी सारी बात से एग्री करती हूँ। बट आप मुझे आप ये बताओ कि जो मेल है, आज की जैसी सोसाइटी है, मेल्स के साथ सबसे ज़्यादा आज वायलेंस करा जाता है। जैसे आप अतुल का केस ले लो, अभी फिलहाल में चला, वो इन द एंड उसने सुसाइड ही कर लिया, है ना। तो मेंस के लिए इतना कम ही लिमिटेड क्यों है, मतलब कि ये जो आपके आर्टिकल्स हैं, IPC है, इतना लिमिटेड क्यों है, मेल्स के लिए इतना क्यों नहीं है?
Limited नहीं, this is where we lack the knowledge. There is nothing in law which is against male. You have to understand few things. आपने अतुल का एग्जांपल दिया,
जी,
अतुल केस में क्या हुआ कि there was a woman who was asking for maintenance from her husband. Husband was performing well in his life. Due to some psychological differences, husband committed suicide. उनके बीच में कुछ conversation हुई, that was a different one. Law क्या कहता है? अब law बना क्यों है? हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा. It is not like that कि आप कह रहे हो कि women do take benefit of these laws, undue advantages of these laws. But we cannot say कि अगर 4 women are doing some ill will, are filing some paid cases, we cannot say that the other women who are actual victim of domestic violence will suffer. This should not happen. You have given me an example of Atul. I will give you an example, another example. And these are the domestic violence that occur in India, be it rural India or in urban India. So there was a case in 2014 or 15, you might have read or you might not have read. A woman, a wife, was subjected to such grave offences. She was residing in a rural village. Her husband was a daily laborer on daily basis. And I feel sheer embarrassment to say so. On daily basis, the husband used to lock the vagina of the wife. Lock within actual lock. What kind of pain or infection that that woman would have been facing through? Lohe ka tala. These are the mentality of people. Not saying that everyone is of that mentality, not saying so. But then we can also not ignore the fact that there are several people who take undue advantage or do take, since males are born naturally with more physical strength. On hormonal sense, males do have more physical strength. They might not be that much compatible, or that they might not be that much capable as a woman. Women are much more at a higher pedestrian. But then, when I say to the physical strength, males are more powerful. So they do take advantages of such kind of situation. तो हम एक ऑफेंस को देख के, हम एक अतुल को देख के, या हम अभी एक जो दिल्ली वाले एक सिनेरियो हुआ, जिसके अंदर एक जो I'm not remembering the name of the particular person, विश्व का, उसने भी सुसाइड कंडक्ट करी. After looking at the अतुल सिनेरियो, तो but by looking at one or two situations, we cannot say that these laws are wrong. These are very much needed laws. सोसाइटी के अंदर इतने क्राइम हैं अगेंस्ट वुमेन स्पेसिफिकली कि आज अगर हम वुमेन को प्रोटेक्ट नहीं करेंगे तो इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर वुमेन टू इवन स्टेप आउट ऑफ द प्लेस.
सर अगर वो पहले ही एक्शन ले लेंगी तो इतना
क्या
तो
action?
जैसे उनको उनके साथ मारा पीटा जाता है, कुछ भी करा जाता है, तो पहली एक्शन ले लेंगी तो इतनी चीजें बढ़ेंगी ही नहीं ना.
क्या
जब एंड ऑफ द टाइम आपको उनसे अलग ही होना है तो आप पहले कर लो ना वो चीजें.
ठीक है,
तो इतनी चीजें बढ़ेंगी ही नहीं, इतना ज्यादा चीजें केस वगैरह ये इतना होगा ही नहीं. जब आपको पता आपको अलग ही होना है तो हो जाओ.
ठीक है, अलग हो गए. अच्छा, स्टेपिंग फॉरवर्ड टू अतुल केस. अतुल वाले केस को आगे लेके जाते हैं. आज अगर अतुल होता तो अतुल के पास क्या क्या ऑप्शन थे? क्या उसको सुसाइड करने की जरूरत थी? ए, there are several other laws which protect male also. I may tell you, these are the laws जो मेल को भी प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. आप अगर कहते हो कि इतना साइकोलॉजिकल प्रेशर आ गया मेल के ऊपर कि वुमेन ने मेरे को 125 सीआरपीसी नाउ द न्यू एक्ट 144 भारतीय नागरिक न्याय संहिता 125 के अंदर मेंटेनेंस मांग ली. उसने डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस के अंदर मेंटेनेंस मांग ली. मैं पति हूँ जी. उसने मेरे से जो है एचएमए में 24 के अंदर मेंटेनेंस मांग ली थी. उसने मेरे से हमा में मेंटेनेंस मांग ली थी. मैं करूं क्या? हमा ठीक है, उसने अब मैं करूं क्या? मैं 100 रुपए कमाता हूं, मेरी वाइफ भी 100 रुपए कमाती है, बट वो मेंटेनेंस मांग रही है और मेरे को देनी पड़ेगी. आई एम टेलिंग यू द स्टैंड ऑफ द अतुल व्हिच शुड हैव बीन डन. और ये बथेरे एडवोकेट जो करते नहीं है इंडियन लॉ के अंदर, बथेरे एडवोकेट की सारी प्रैक्टिस नहीं करते ड्यू टू एन नंबर ऑफ रीजंस. तो क्या राइट है मेरे पास? एज अ हस्बैंड मैं क्या कर सकता हूं? दो दिस इज नॉट द टॉपिक फॉर द डे, बट नाउ सिंस यू हैव आस्क्ड मी, मैं क्या कर सकता हूं? ये क्या करते हैं हस्बैंड की फैमिली, क्या करती है अपने बच्चों को, बेटे को बचाने के लिए, हस्बैंड को बचाने के लिए? व्हाट डू पीपल डू? व्हाट स्टेप कैन आई टेक? कैन एनीवन असिस्ट मी? नो वन. ओके, तो हस्बैंड क्या कर सकता है? एक सबसे पहले जो स्टेप, जैसे अगर मैं हस्बैंड की साइड से हूं तो मैं क्या करता हूं? पहले तो उसको डिवाइड कर दो सारी प्रॉपर्टी. डिवाइड इन फ्रॉम द प्रॉपर्टी बिकॉज़ वाइफ हैव वन राइट अंडर डोमेस्टिक प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एक्ट टू क्लेम द रेसिडेंस ऑर्डर. राइट, अब रेसिडेंस ऑर्डर कहां पे क्लेम कर सकते हो भाई? ओनली एंड ओनली एट द शेयर हाउसहोल्ड ऑफ द हस्बैंड. Only and only at the share house. अब share household की definition क्या है? There are n number of judgment. SR बतरा है और भी बतरी judgment है जो share household की बात करती है. What do you mean by share house? कोई बता सकता है?
In which they both are residing currently.
खाली यही होता है?
सर जॉइंट फैमिली सोसाइटी.
Joint family की सारी property share household है?
No sir, currently इसमें रह रहे हैं.
Currently जिसमें रह रही है वो?
Yes sir.
खाली वो?
Property is owned by the husband.
हाँ जी.
Property owned by the husband.
Property on?
Property, any property which is owned by the husband.
Property owned by the husband. तो share household क्या होता है? All those property, irrespective who is the owner of the property, irrespective who is the owner of the property. अगर मेरे माँ या मेरे बाप की प्रॉपर्टी है, मेरे पेरेंट्स की प्रॉपर्टी है, बट मैं उनके घर पे एज अ परमिसिव यूजर रह रहा हूँ, एज अ परमिसिव यूजर और एज अ लाइसेंसी रह रहा हूँ, प्रॉपर्टी तो उनकी है, उन्होंने मेरे को प्यार मोहब्बत में बोला बेटा आजा रह ले मेरे साथ, जैसे अभी तक सारे बच्चे रह रहे होंगे अपने माँ बाप के घर में, तो यू आर ओनली अ परमिसिव यूजर. कभी भी निकाल सकते हैं, बदतमीजी मत करना, ठीक है? तो लाइसेंस भी हो, बदतमीजी कोई नहीं करेगा माउस से। तो you are only a permissive user. So even if I am a permissive user, wife have a right, if at all wife have come at the premises, अगर wife उस घर पे आई है, रही है, चाहे वो एक दिन के लिए रही है, तो वो शेयर हाउस होल्डर बन जाएगा। अगर मैं रह रहा हूं अपने माँ बाप के साथ, बट मेरी वाइफ कभी भी उस घर में रहने नहीं आई, then that will not be a share house property. अगर कोई प्रॉपर्टी मेरे पापा की है, मेरे दादा की है, इनहेरिटेड, अगर तो इनहेरिटेड है जिसमें मेरा राइट है, being a husband, if I have the right in the property, then that will be a share house property. Then my wife have also the inheritance right. अगर मैं मरता हूँ या कुछ होता है, बट जहां पे वो रहने ही नहीं आई कभी, वो शेयर हाउस प्रॉपर्टी नहीं होगी। फॉर दैट मैटर, आज अगर मैं अपने मॉम डैड के साथ रहता हूँ, मेरी वाइफ है, ठीक है, शी हैव पार्टेड अवे और शी हैव लेफ्ट द प्रीमिस, वो घर छोड़ के चली गई। अब घर छोड़ के चली गई, उसके बाद मेरे को मेरे मॉम डैड ने डिबार कर दिया प्रॉपर्टी से। They have stated कि मैं अपने सारे relation with this particular person, I am dividing all my relation with the concerned person, and from henceforth, no relation, I do not have any relation, all the relations have been sufficient, and if at all any liability occurs, then the concerned person will have the liability, I do not have the liability, being the parents of the concerned person. डिबार कर दिया। उसके बाद मेरी मॉम ने मेरे अगेंस्ट और मेरी वाइफ के अगेंस्ट एक डीपी का केस डाल दिया, because now she is also a woman, my mother is also a woman, she might also suffer domestic violence at the concerned house, और मेरी मदर ने मेरे ऊपर और मेरे पति मेरी वाइफ के ऊपर एक केस डाल दिया। Now in that particular case my mother is seeking protection order to protect my body and to prevent my daughter-in-law and my son to entering from the house in the house, कि मेरे बेटा और मेरी बहू जो है घर के अंदर नहीं आनी चाहिए। My mother can do that because as per the Domestic Violence Act, my mother is also a woman. She can claim to, वहां से मेरे को प्रोटेक्शन ऑर्डर मिल गया। अब मैं पति था, मैंने एक जगह ले ली किराए पे। अब उस किराए की जगह पे मेरी वाइफ कभी रहने नहीं आई। So now will the rented premises on which my wife has never resided with me, will that premises be a share household property or not? No. Secondly, ma'am, Atul could have done what Atul could have done is, अतुल को मेंटेनेंस देने में कुछ दिक्कत थी कि भाई मैं कमा रहा हूँ इतना क्यों दे रहा हूँ, राइट? रजनीश नेहा की जजमेंट है, हैव यू रेड द जजमेंट ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट? रजनीश नेहा प्रोवाइड्स की जो इनकम है हस्बैंड की, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द फैक्ट कि अगर आज पति कमा रहा है कुछ या नहीं कमा रहा कुछ, whether he is earning or not earning, if he is a well-abled bodied person, अगर उसके हाथ पैर ठीक है, फिजिकली ठीक है, तो चाहे वो बेरोजगार है, उसको अपनी बीवी को भत्ता देना पड़ेगा। He would have to compulsory give the maintenance to his wife, but then under a situation जहाँ पे वो कुछ कमाता ही नहीं है, मैं वाइफ को अगर मेंटेनेंस चाहिए, अगर मेरा पति कुछ कमाता ही नहीं है, तो कैसे कैलकुलेट होगी उसकी इनकम?
तो सर उसकी बैकग्राउंड में तो होनी चाहिए ना?
No relation with the background. Only thing is when we come to the deciding factor of the maintenance, only thing that need to be taken into consideration is that जब मेरी वाइफ और पति साथ रह रहे थे, what was their living standard? What was the living standard of husband and wife when they were residing together? So supposing you were residing with your husband have income of 5 lakh rupees per annum. On an average he has an income of 5 lakh, but then he also owns one Ferrari, ठीक है, Ferrari गाड़ी चलाता है, but इनकम 5 लाख है, तो मेंटेनेंस 5 लाख रुपए से हिसाब से डिसाइड होगी? नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द ओनली एम्बिट, फिर उसकी एसेट्स भी देखे जाएंगे, Ferrari गाड़ी है उसके बाद भाई का, तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि वो अपनी इनकम को छुपा रहा है, he is managing his income. So when it comes to Rajnesh Neha, Each and every factor, there are n number of factors which decide कि कैसे किसी की इनकम डिसाइड होगी. उसकी इनकम जो है उसके बैंक अकाउंट की स्टेटमेंट से, उसकी आईटीआर से, उसकी लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड से. When it comes to living standard सब कुछ इंक्लूड होता है. आप कितनी बार टूर पे गए हो, कितनी बार घूमने जा रहे हो, कहाँ घूमने जा रहे हो, आपके पास घर कैसा था, कितना बड़ा घर था, मेड सी या नहीं थी, घर के अंदर क्या क्या एमिनिटीज रखी हुई हैं आपने. Each and every small thing would be considered by the court at the time of adjudicating the matter. उस सिनेरियो में कि अतुल उठा के है, तो what would he do? वो ये कर सकता है. There are laws which help the husband. जैसे Protection of Senior Citizen Act. Protection of Senior Citizen Act वो क्या कहता है कि अगर कोई भी सीनियर सिटीजन है वो भी अपने बच्चों से मेंटेनेंस मांग सकता है, राइट? देन ओल्ड प्रोविजन सीआरपीसी 125, न्यू प्रोविजन 144. पेरेंट्स कैन आस्क मेंटेनेंस फ्रॉम द सन, फ्रॉम द मेजर सन,
इवन
डॉटर्स भी कब तक, ठीक है? तो पेरेंट्स जो है अपने बच्चों से मेंटेनेंस मांग सकते हैं. आज अगर मेरी इनकम सपोजिंगली लाख रुपए महीने है, मुझे पता है अगर मेरी वाइफ ने मेरे ऊपर केस डाला तो मेरी जो मेंटेनेंस है वो जाएगी 50-60,000. I need to reduce that. These are the loopholes in the law which also need to be taken into consideration by the legislature. कि ऐसे ये सारे केसेस होते हैं जो कर्ब करते हैं वुमेन के राइट्स को. These kind of cases should not be filed, but many of them filed. तो क्या होता है कि जो मदर इन लॉ है और जो फादर इन लॉ है, दे एट दिस एज जब तक शादी होगी सबकी, तो वो मेजर कोई वो रिटायरमेंट एज पे होंगे, कोई 60 होगा, कोई 65 होगा, कोई 70 होगा. तो व्हाट दे डू इज दे फाइल मेंटेनेंस केसेस अंडर दीस प्रोविजन, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ सीनियर सिटीजन एक्ट और 125 सीआरपीसी, ठीक है? उसके और 144 बीएनएसएस. तो उसके अंदर क्या होता है, वहां पे कोर्ट जो है आपको पेरेंट्स के लिए एक मेंटेनेंस फंड देती है. नाउ दैट इज आल्सो एन ऑर्डर ऑफ द कोर्ट. ऑर्डर ऑफ द कोर्ट. अब जब आपकी जब इनकम की बात आएगी एज पर रजनीश नेहा, यू हैव अ स्टैंडिंग लायबिलिटी अगेंस्ट यू. आज अगर मेरी इनकम जो है वो लाख रुपए है और मेरे माँ बाप के लिए मेंटेनेंस बन गई 50,000 रुपए, तो मेरे पास कैश इन हैंड कितना है? उस 50,000 में से मेरे को अपने भी खर्चे निकालने, मेरी भी लायबिलिटीज है. आई हैव माय लोन टू पे, आई हैव माय बिल्स टू पे, आई हैव माय रेंट टू पे. इन दो सिनेरियोस मेरी मेंटेनेंस कम होगी. These kind of cases should be prevented, right? तो ये मैम आई गेस आपको मैंने थोड़ा सा सेटिस्फाई कर दिया अतुल वाले सिनेरियो के अंदर. अतुल वाले सिनेरियो के अंदर देखो, सुसाइड अगर आप कोई कर रहे हो, उस केस में हुआ क्या? अतुल के अंदर अरेस्ट किया गया वाइफ को. नाउ वाइफ हैव बीन रिलीज ऑन बेल. वाइफ हैव बीन रिलीज ऑन बेल. नाउ व्हेन Atul be served justice, will Atul's parents be able to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt? In criminal cases आपको पता है ना, beyond reasonable doubt there are n number of factors. जब आप सुसाइड भी करते हो, abatement to suicide it also need to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. क्या आपने उसकी वीडियो देखी थी अतुल की?
हाँ देखी.
Was it under pressure or was it under such harassment, such grave provocation? Or were you able to find that that concerned person was in a fit state of mind? पूछ रहा हूं आपसे, वो आपको फिट स्टेट ऑफ माइंड में लग रहा था या आपको ग्रेव प्रोवोकेशन में, ग्रेव टॉर्चर में लग रहा था?
सर वो टॉर्चर में लग रहा था.
लग रहा था आपको टॉर्चर में. तो इफ यू आर एबल टू प्रूव, ओनली देन द वाइफ वुड बी बिहाइंड द बार्स.
सर
Convicted.
उसने खुद ही बताया था उस वीडियो में कि मैं अपनी वाइफ से बहुत परेशान हूँ, वो बार-बार एलिमेंट्री मांग रही है.
See ma'am, if I say that I am subjected to cruelty by my wife, right? Then these are the vague allegations. These are mere allegations. There is no protection under law if you create mere allegation. अगर आज मैं पति होने के नाते मैं बोलता हूँ मेरी वाइफ मेरे को मार के देती है यार, जीना आराम से, सॉरी फॉर द लैंग्वेज, मेरी वाइफ मेरे को मार के देती है, तो उस सिनेरियो में कोर्ट मेरे को प्रोटेक्ट करेगी? या अगर मेरी वाइफ मेरे ऊपर एलिगेशन लगाती है डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एक्ट में या डाइवोर्स के अंदर या किसी और प्रोविजन के अंदर कि मेरा पति मुझे मारता रहता है, मेरा उसने जीना खराब कर दिया, तो क्या मेरे को कोर्ट हेल्प करेगी वुमेन को?
सर मेंस जो मैन है ना उनको थोड़ा कम कर दिया, बट अगर वुमेन्स जाए तो उसके पहले सबसे पहले उसका एक्शन लिया जाता है।
क्या करता है?
जैसे कि अगर आपने बताया ना कि जैसे आपको मारा जाता है या कुछ भी, तो मेंस के ऊपर थोड़ा कम कि कोई नहीं तुम सॉर्ट आउट कर लेना, ये कर लेना, और अगर वही वुमेन्स जाएगी तो उसकी सुन ली जाएगी, बट मैन जाएगा उसके भी कितनी सुनी जाती ना।
मैम my answer to that question would remain the same कि अगर नहीं सुनी जाती तो there are provision in laws, जो अभी मैंने आपको फीमेल्स के लिए बताया कि आप कंप्लेंट कर सकते हो, लेकिन आप यहाँ जा सकते हो, आप वहाँ जा सकते हो।
सर जाने के बाद भी चीज़ें उतनी क्लियर नहीं हो पाती, वहाँ जाओ तभी आप वहाँ जाओ, यहाँ करो, ये ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं।
ठीक, so we will take into that consideration कि मेन की भी बातें सुनी जाए, आदमियों की भी बातें सुनी जाए, ठीक है? Now coming forward, इंडिया के केसेस हमने देखे, सर कैन यू कम टू द नेक्स्ट पेज? Now these are the incidents of crime against women which have been reported since the year 2010 to 2015. 2010-11 में there were 1582 cases reported for rape. 2011-12 में वो केसेस बढ़ जाते हैं 1900 के करीब, then 12-13 में that cases again rises. These are only the reported cases, ठीक है? This number will increase जहाँ पे बथेरे ऐसे केसेस होंगे जो अनरिपोर्टेड चले जाते हैं, ठीक है? बथेरे ऐसे केसेस हैं जिसको रिपोर्ट ही नहीं करती पुलिस, जो आप कह रहे हो ना ये बहुत होता है फीमेल्स के साथ, and the reason is and there is a grave reason behind it. In police, majority of the police personnel are male, if you see it.
Yes sir.
ठीक है? Majority of police personnel are male. They have their preconceived notion against women. Unless until there is a balance in the police, कि females भी उतनी हो, ये compare अगर हम ratio देखें तो males की ratio बहुत ज़्यादा है females के साथ। तो males क्या करते हैं कि males do not A under pressure, B under corruption, they do not log the complaint. तो वहां पे जो नंबर ऑफ रिपोर्टेड केसेस है वो बहुत ज्यादा कम हो जाते हैं, ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद these numbers again rises from 2000 to 2940 in the year 2013 and 14 के अंदर जो है वो 3000 के करीब पहुंच जाते हैं। मैम
I just want to answer a question.
माइक ये लीजिए मैम, ये लीजिए मैम, आपके पास आ गया माइक।
Okay. So I just want to answer the question कि Constitution में ये दिया गया है equality should be provided on the basis of equity. So male और female में there is no equity अभी.
Very well.
That is why the laws are more inclined towards female, I feel.
Very good. बिल्कुल ठीक है। But I would not accept the concept that there is no equity against male and female. Equity is there, but वहाँ पे वो क्या रहा है कि on a general tradition, I cannot say that male and female does not have that equity. On a general tradition, on a preconceived notion. If I say, आज आप सारे बच्चे बैठे हो यहाँ पे, you belong to a very well-educated family, तो यहाँ पे equity है. यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं कि equity नहीं है. You are well capable, you all have all the knowledge, all the opportunity. But equity कहाँ नहीं है? जहाँ पे I have seen societies, I have seen people जहाँ पे बच्चों की शादी आज भी, दिल्ली के अंदर की बात कर रहा हूँ, आज भी बच्चों की शादी जो है वो 10, 11, 12 साल में हो जाती है। आप जाओ किसी भी इस्लाम एरिया के अंदर, 12, 12 साल, 13, 13 साल के अंदर लड़कियों की शादी होती है। By the age they turn 13, 14, 15, they are pregnant. They have their babies in their hands. पढ़ाई की बात करो तो उनके पास अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं, पढ़ती नहीं है, और एक फीमेल खुद नहीं पढ़ती वहाँ। मतलब ये नहीं है कि सोसाइटी नहीं बढ़ा रही। Whenever I talk to parents, उन बच्चियों के कि आपने क्यों ऐसे शादी करवा दी इतनी जल्दी, तो उनका आंसर होता है मैं क्या करती, मैं तो चाह रही थी मेरी बेटी पढ़ जाए पर पढ़ नहीं। तो these are the mindset of the people there. वहां पे इक्विटी नहीं है। So to bring those females at the equilibrium, आपको ये लॉस चाहिए। आप 1, 2, 3, 4, 100 एग्जांपल्स की वजह से उन लाखों फीमेल्स को जो है एम्बार्गो में नहीं ला सकते। You cannot bring all those women or you cannot make them suffer due to 5-10 people, right? उसके बाद मैम होमिसाइड 2014-15 में होमिसाइड जो है that was 3,119. Thereafter torture both mental and physical on the amount of dowry for seeking dowry. It was 9,476. Assault on women with the intent to outrage the modesty was 7,000. Insult the modesty 25. Thereafter kidnapping and abduction of girls and women for specific purposes. Specific purpose A for human trafficking, B for prostitution. So these were the cases reported at 8,964. Dowry Protection Act was 1,100. That's thereafter meager cases. So if I see out of the entire list, majority of the cases are of those where the women are subjected to cruelty at domestic level. 9,000 जो है वो 498 केसेस में है, जहां पे either husband or the family of the husband is torturing the wife for the demand of dowry, right? उसके बाद 7,000 8,000 के करीब जो केसेस हैं वो with the intent of outraging the modesty। फिर उसके बाद जो केसेस हैं वो ये हैं। यहाँ पे हमें ये देखने को मिलता है कि majority of the offenses which occur against women are either at the domestic household or are also conducted by the person who I have prayed for। आज अगर मेरा कोई दोस्त है, मेरा कोई रिलेटिव है, those are the person who commit these offenses on a huge scale rather than some stranger committing these offenses। These offenses are usually committed by someone who is known to me, right? And इस सिनेरियो में क्या होता है? Females are pressurized A not to speak up, B not to report these kind of cases on the pressure of the society। आज supposingly मेरे किसी cousin ने, I am a female, some of my cousin or some of my friends try to commit any sexual offense against me. He tried to touch me inappropriately. In those scenarios, either my family or my friend circle will try to explain me or will try to pacify me to a level that I should not report this case to the police। इज्जत का सवाल है जी, फैमिली की इज्जत का सवाल है, हमें नहीं करना चाहिए। तो these are the mindset of the people। I would suggest that these kind of cases should be and have to be reported without any fear of the society, because if we do not speak today, आज अगर हम नहीं बोलते, आज अगर फीमेल्स नहीं बोलते, तो there are n number of factors and huge possibilities कि ये जो एक छोटा ऑफेंस हुआ है, this will turn up to a bigger, this will promote, this will instigate or this will give a motivation to the culprit कि मैंने इतना कर लिया कुछ नहीं होगा, मैं और भी करूँगा तो भी कुछ नहीं होगा। So these kind of offenses have to be stopped and the very threshold of the case, right? Come to the next page, sir. You can see the pie chart. You can see the pie chart here. The crime against women percentage distributing during the year 2014. The kindly see rape percentage, homicide for dowry death and or their attempt, torture both mental and physical assault on women with the intent to outrage the modesty and kidnapping। Kindly see the pictographical representation that how many cases are there where the women are subjected to cruelty merely on the pretext that they are in a household relationship, right? Now let us continue. Section 2 subclause 3 Section 2, subclause 3 defines child. And child means any person who is below the age of 18 years. So here the age has been amended in this act, right? Now come to section 2, subclause 10. And the reason that I am making emphasis on this thing is that when I come to this section, when I come to the provision of rape, I would ask some interesting question that who all can commit rape? Can a female commit a rape? Can the rape be committed only on females? These would be the specific questions that I would be asking you. Section 2, subclause 10 speak about gender. Now the pronouns he and its derivative are used of any person, whether male, female or transgender. In the previous act IPC, it was only either male or female. Now there is an incorporation of transgender also in this particular act. He means any person of any community. And transgender is a wide concept. It includes LGBTQ+. Right? Then come to section 2, subclause 19. It provides the definition of man. Man means male human being of any age. Male human being of any age. Any will also consider, will also include. Right. Now come to subclause 35. Woman means female human being of any age, either minor or major. Age does not make any difference. Females include, women include all female human beings. Right? Clear? Now come to section, chapter 5, section 63 of the Act. Section 63, sir. Right. Section chapter 5 speak about, now previously in IPC, all the offences which were committing against women and children were segregated in different chapters. For example, crime against body. In crime against body, section 304B was of culpable homicide when there was a demand of dowry. So whenever a crime occurs where a female had died within 7 years of her marriage and there is a presumption and there is a demand of dowry immediately before the death, it was considered to be a case of 304B. Thereafter, 498A in a different chapter. Thereafter, 509 in a different chapter. So all these provisions were segregated in different chapters. So with the inception of this particular act, this new act of BNS, all the provisions, all the crimes related to women were consolidated in one chapter and it has been moved on a higher condition. The punishment have been high. The offences, previously the fine was very limited. Now the fine has been enhanced. Now the fine says that any fine with the magistrate deemed fit for the medical expenses and for the subsistence of the woman. So now the ambit of the fine has also been expanded. Right? So now section 63 reads as a man is said to commit a rape. Who can commit rape? Man. Only and only a man. Man की definition अभी हमने पढ़ी थी, right? A man can commit rape. Can a female commit rape?
No, sir.
No. Very good. No. Now you will change your answer shortly. Okay, I will come to it. She cannot commit rape, but then she can do something under which she can also be held liable for rape. Will tell you now, sure. A man is said to commit rape if he penetrates his penis into any extent into the vagina, mouth, urethra or anus of a woman or make her to do so with him or any other person, insert to any extent any object or part of the body not being his penis into the vagina and the uterus or anus of the woman or make her to do so with him or any other person. Manipulate any part of the body of a woman so as to cause penetration into the vagina, urethra, anus or any other part of such woman or make her to do so with him or any other person or apply his mouth to the vagina, uterus, anus of a woman or make her to do so with any other person. Under these circumstances following, under any of the following 7 descriptions, A, it should be against her will. All these acts should be against her will. That will should be, even if I have derived the will of a woman to engage into any sexual activity, that will should have been derived with free consent, without any force, without any coercion, without any misappropriation of facts. For that example, if I induce a person saying that misappropriation of facts to others, if I induce a person with a request that I will marry you, I want to marry you, and on that pretext I have sexual intercourse with that person. So will this act per se be amount to rape or not? If we do not marry her, then
it will be amount to rape.
okay. Now this answer is not correct to the full extent. Anyone else will try to answer it?
Section 69 of GIBS will be.
Pardon?
Section 69 of GIBS.
What does section 69 say? Let us come to section 69 for a moment. The section 69 what's that? Whoever by deceitful means or by making promise to marry a woman without any intention. Now here the concept without intention is very important. I should not have any intention to marry her. I am making a false promise of marriage. If I do have any intention, अगर मेरे पास मेरी intention है, but unintentionally, due to certain circumstances, family circumstances, I am not able to perform or complete the contract. ये तो contract हुआ ना. आज अगर मैंने आपको promise किया that I will marry you, and I have the intention to marry you, in those circumstances, other if I am not able to fulfill the contract, there is a breach of contract. The term is there is a breach of contract. In those scenarios, this will not amount to it. For example, I had a case recently whereby a person was there was an FIR lodged against the accused person who I was representing. The accused person was allegedly had committed an offence of rape on the pretext of marriage. Now the fact goes, and I will ask you guys, the fact was like this, that the woman was already married. She had 2 children. Already. I get into the contact of that particular woman. We established sexual relation. It was said by the woman, alleged by the woman, that there was a promise of marriage. I had promised her to marry. My story was also this, that I promised her to marry. But the woman said that I failed to fulfill that promise. And thereafter, I got married, and as soon as I got married, the woman lodged a FIR on the pretext that the promise that I made was false. I never had any intention to marry. So, in this given facts and circumstances, will this offence particularly per se will amount to rape as per section 69 of the Act? Why no? Yes, ma'am. You said no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Now, in this given fact and circumstance, I was single when I had committed the alleged offence. Woman was married. If I had to marry her, she was a Hindu by religion. Or even if she would have been belonging to any other religion, if I had to marry a woman, she should have been unmarried or divorced. Can I marry a married woman as per law? No. What if she is a Muslim woman? Can I marry her? Can a man marry multiple wives?
Yes, sir.
But can a woman marry multiple husbands? No. So, till the time that she is married, I cannot legally marry her. So, the pretext that I had encountered or I committed an offence on the pretext of false marriage breaks it. I might have the intention, but till the point that she do not give the divorce to her husband, I cannot legally marry her. So, this case went up till the Honorable High Court. We record the bail. Thereafter, we filed a petition under 582 for quashing the FIR, and we were able to successfully quash the FIR without leaving the evidence. Because the fact of the case and this particular section 69 clearly says so, that wheresoever there wasn't an intention, only in those circumstances the offence of false promise to marry will fall under this particular section. Whenever I have the intention, but there is only a breach of contract, in those circumstances this will not fall under this act. Clear? So there are n number of judgments on this particular point also, which if you want I can share you. Then coming forward, the punishment of rape. Now the punishment of rape is not less than section 64 of the Act. Punishment for rape is not less than 10 years, but which may extend to life imprisonment. Right? But when it comes to any such kind of person who have authority, any such person, be it a police official, be it a doctor or medical superintendent who have authority of the patient, or any other such kind of a person, and categories have been mentioned in the Act, if any such person commits an offence, then the punishment rises from 10 years to 10, earlier the punishment was 10 years up till life imprisonment. Now if any such kind of a person commits the offence, the imprisonment rises from 10 years and now it can extend up till life imprisonment till the natural life of the concerned person. As long as the concerned person is alive, the life imprisonment can be extended. Otherwise, usually life imprisonment can be committed, can be condoned up till the age of 14. Right? Usually. But again, in second scenario, this life imprisonment will extend up till the life of the concerned, natural life of the concerned person. Right? Thereafter, punishment for rape in certain offences, section 65 of the Act. It says that in those circumstances where the age of the woman is less than 16 years, in those circumstances the punishment rises from 10 to 20. Now the minimum punishment is 20 years up till life. Right? And in those circumstances where the woman age is less than 12 years, where the woman age section 65 plus 2, where the age of the woman is less than 20 years, in those circumstances the punishment would be minimum 20 years, but then extended up till life, till the natural life of the accused. Right? So these punishments have been enhanced from the previous act of IPC. Running short of time. I guess I'm not boring you guys. Right. Okay. Now coming directly to the question that I've asked you, that whether the woman can be held liable or not. Let us cut short the section. Now come to section 70 of the Act. Now section 70 of the Act talks about gang rape. Section 70 of the Act talks about gang rape. हमने अभी रेप पढ़ा था. रेप के अंदर हमने क्या पढ़ा था? A man can commit rape, right? There was the word a man there. Now come to section 70. It says that where a woman is raped, rape तो खाली woman का ही हो सकता है, male का नहीं हो सकता. As per this act, as per the current scenario, right? Where a woman is raped by one or more person, यहाँ पे male have been replaced with the term person. अब person की definition क्या थी? Either male or female and now also or transgender. So if in this scenario अगर कोई gang rape होता है, उसके अंदर female include है, then she would also be held liable to be committed the offence of gang rape. ठीक है? इसके अंदर बथेरी जजमेंट्स हैं. एक रिसेंट अभी ऑर्डर था इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट का. If you want to know, you can note the citation where a woman was also held to be guilty of the offence of gang rape and she was also given the punishment. The citation is, this is an application under 482 CRPC. Allahabad High Court at Allahabad bench, and the citation is CRPC 482 CRPC number 39234 of 2022. Title of the case was Sunita Pandey versus State of UP. Sunita Pandey versus State of UP. There are also several other precedents. There was a case of 2013 of whereby the Honorable High Court of Punjab Haryana have passed a similar order, whereby it has categorically stated it was the first of its kind case. Prior to that, the woman was never considered, was never given an offence, was never punished under the offence of gang rape. It was a very first kind of a case, whereby the Honorable Punjab Haryana High Court have punished the woman, saying that the term person would include all the genders. A. When I read it with combined with section 34 of IPC, now that particular definition has been changed as per the BNS. When I come to 34 of IPC, that is common intention. Where common intention comes in, each and every person will be held liable. For example, I give you an example. I am a woman, right? I have my female friend. I call my female friend at my place. I'm a lady. I call my female friend at my place, and in conspiracy with my husband, I send my female friend to the room of my husband, where my husband commit the offence of rape. I was just standing outside the room, guarding the door. मैं खाली रखवाली में डोर के पीछे बाहर खड़ी थी, गार्ड कर रही. So only guarding the door, not actually committing any offence. Will I be held liable for gang rape? Yes. Abatement or common intention? Abatement or common intention? Abatement का मतलब क्या होता है? उठाना या तो खाया? Instigate दिया किसी को मैंने यहाँ पे? तो यहाँ पे तो common intention को बात है. तो है the wife had the common intention, shared intention with the husband कि मैं उसको बुलाऊंगी, मैं बाहर खड़ी होंगी, ठीक है? तो मैं इसके साथ ये offense करूँ. So in that particular scenario, the wife would also be held liable under this section 70 of the BNS. ठीक है? Clear?
तो धरने पर बैठे दो चार लोगों की तो कोई वैल्यू भी नहीं है. सिस्टम को नींद से जगाने के लिए आंदोलन करने पड़ते हैं। देखा हमने, महाराष्ट्र में ट्रेन रोकनी पड़ी, सड़कें जाम हो गई, लोगों ने बवाल मचा दिया और फिर उन्हीं लोगों को हिरासत में लिया गया, गिरफ्तार किया गया। इस सिस्टम के काम करने का तरीका और स्पीड पब्लिक सेंटिमेंट से तय होने लगती है। कितने लोग सड़क पर उतर आए हैं और उनमें कितना गुस्सा है, कितना गुबार है। और इससे भी बुरा तो ये कि इस पर राजनीति कैसे की जाए, इसकी स्क्रिप्ट तैयार हो जाती है। लेकिन ऐसा करने से भी महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध रुकते नहीं। अरे दिन बदले, तारीख पर तारीख बदली, साल बदल गए, शहर बदल गए, सरकारें बदल गई, मगर नहीं बदला तो सिस्टम का रवैया और इस समाज का हमारे प्रति नजरिया। स्क्रीन पर लिखे इस नंबर को देखिए और 2 बार पढ़िए। 31,516। ये एनसीआरबी का डेटा है कि 2022 में इतने रेप केस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं। जो रिपोर्ट नहीं हो पाए वो तो भूल ही जाइए। इसका मतलब पता है क्या है? 86 महिलाओं के साथ देश में हर दिन ये बलात्कार जैसा जुर्म हो रहा है। इसका मतलब पता है क्या है? देश के किसी न किसी कोने में इसका शिकार हो रही है। लेकिन बदल कुछ नहीं रहा। सोशल सौरों के 4 दिन शर्मिंदगी, निंदाएं, आलोचनाएं, कैंडल मार्च, प्लेकार्ड्स वगैरह वगैरह, और फिर वही निर्भया, अभया 2, 3, 4 एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा। क्या सबक ले लिया सिस्टम ने, सरकार ने, समाज ने? इतने के बाद भी कुछ नहीं। अरे कितने रेप क्राइसिस सेल हैं आपके पास? बलात्कार की परिभाषा क्या है तय कर दी क्या आपने? सेक्शन 509 में संशोधन कर दिए क्या? पब्लिक प्लेसेस पर विमेन सेफ्टी के लिए पुलिस और लॉ एनफोर्समेंट की अकाउंटेबिलिटी को बढ़ाकर उसे फिक्स कर दिया क्या? 2012 में पैम राजपूत कमेटी बनी टू अंडरस्टैंड द स्टेटस ऑफ वुमेन सिंस 1989। उसमें कहा गया कि गवर्नमेंट मशीनरी में, सरकारी ढांचे में जेंडर सेंसिटिविटी बढ़ाई है। कहा गया कि हर डिसीजन मेकिंग बॉडी में महिलाओं के लिए 50% रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए। सिर्फ 33% से काम नहीं चलने वाला। कितना मिला रिजर्वेशन? कमेटी ने पुलिस फोर्स में महिलाओं की संख्या बढ़ाने पर जोर दिया ताकि महिलाओं से जुड़े मामलों को बेहतर ढंग से संभाला जा सके। अब इतनी हाई लेवल कमेटी को यह कहने की जरूरत उस वक्त क्यों पड़ी? जानते हैं क्यों? क्योंकि हमारी पुलिस फोर्स में महज 11.7% महिलाएं हैं। पुलिस जिस पर इन्वेस्टिगेशन की जिम्मेदारी होती है। जुडिशरी की बात करेंगे तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 33 में से सिर्फ 3 ही महिला न्यायाधीश हैं। हाई कोर्ट पर आइए तो वहां सिर्फ 13% ही महिला जज हैं। और आगे आएंगे तो बात आएगी रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ वुमेन इन पार्लियामेंट, व्हिच रिमेंस वेल बिलो द ग्लोबल एवरेज ऑफ 25%। अरे आपकी 18वीं लोकसभा में महिलाओं की भागीदारी बांग्लादेश से भी कम है। यूके, स्वीडन और जर्मनी जैसे HDI में जो हाईएस्ट रैंकिंग देश हैं उनको तो भूल ही जाइए। तो ऐसा है ना कि सिस्टम ने अपने आप को लचर बना लिया है। जिन पर जांच की जिम्मेदारी है वही दुष्कर्म को आत्महत्या कहने की जरूरत कर लेते हैं, सबूतों से छेड़छाड़ हो जाने देते हैं या किसी दिशाहीन भीड़ की तरह देखते रह जाते हैं। सोचिए कि एक बच्ची गैंगरेप की शिकायत के लिए थाने जाती है और उसके साथ वहां फिर से बलात्कार हो जाता है तो कई पीड़िताओं के शव झूलते दिखाई देते हैं। अब किसी का शव तो इंसाफ नहीं मांग सकता ना। जो जिंदा रह जाते हैं वो न्याय को भीख की तरह मांगने पर मजबूर कर दिए जाते हैं। आप कहते हैं कि घर सेफ है तो आंकड़े चिल्लाते हैं कि महिलाओं के साथ अपराधों में 89% उनके जानने वाले होते हैं। लगभग 30% शादीशुदा औरतें डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस की शिकार हैं। अरे कहा गया कि वर्कफोर्स में महिलाएं होनी चाहिए, जेंडर गैप कम होगा, इक्वालिटी स्टैब्लिश होगी। और आपने पता है क्या कहते हैं कि 400 से ज्यादा मामले वर्क प्लेस पर सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट के आ रहे हैं 2018 से लगातार। निर्भया कांड के बाद तो रेप केसेस खत्म होने चाहिए थे क्योंकि पूरा देश शर्मसार हुआ था। लेकिन आंकड़े बताते हैं कि निर्भया कांड के बाद रेप केसेस और बढ़े। अरे ये महज इवेंट्स और आंकड़े नहीं हैं, आप इम्पैक्ट तो सोचिए। एक ऐसी खबर, एक ऐसा केस उन बच्चियों, महिलाओं, उनके परिवारों पर क्या असर डालता होगा। अरे एक ऐसी आजादी है जो किसी और का अधिकार छिन जाने की जमीन तैयार कर रही है। जब तक हर जगह सेफ नहीं है ना हमारे लिए, तब तक कोई जगह सेफ नहीं है। शुरुआत में 3 चीजें, पुलिस, अस्पताल और न्याय व्यवस्था, इन तीनों में जूझ कर रह जाती है एक रेप विक्टिम। कैसे? सुन लीजिए। पुलिस स्टेशन जाकर रिपोर्ट लिखवाने में ही उसको डिमोरलाइज कर दिया जाता है। रिपोर्ट लिख जाए तो वो एग्जामिनेशन के लिए अस्पताल जाती है और वहां उसे हिकारत भरी नजर से देखा जाता है। गार्ड से लेकर वार्ड के अटेंडेंट तक सबको पता चल जाता है कि किसके साथ क्या हुआ है। कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी तो भूल ही जाइए। यहाँ एग्जामिन हो गया तो अदालत में तो
सॉरी फॉर इंटरवेंशन। अभी इसमें बात हुई थी कि ईमेल्स जो है भागती रहती न्याय, एक कोर्ट से दूसरी कोर्ट, दूसरी कोर्ट से तीसरी कोर्ट। एक पुलिस स्टेशन में कंप्लेंट करी, रेप हुआ, विदिन 24 आवर्स हमें हॉस्पिटल लेके जाया जाता है फॉर मेडिकल, फॉर एमरजेंसी। अच्छा, कैन एनीवन टेल मी, इज देयर एनी लिमिटेशन आल्सो इन द लॉ? आज जैसे मेरे अगेंस्ट कोई क्राइम होगा, पुलिस वाले को चार्जशीट फाइल करनी है। केस कमेंस कब होगा? When will the case commence in the court? Unless until the charge sheet have been filed before the court, case will not commence. For case real sense में कब commence होता है? When the prosecution evidence starts. कितना टाइम होता है to file a charge sheet before the court? Is there any limitation in law? 90 days. और अगर 90 days में ना हो तो
Sir, they asked from to extend that time period.
कितना extend हो सकता है? What is the maximum limit?
Sir, it depends on case.
It depends upon case to case. सबके हाथ में फोन है, नेट चल रहा है सबका? चल रहा है? एक बार सेक्शन open the section 513 and 514 of भारतीय नागरिक न्याय संहिता BNSS 513 and 514 of the Act. We will continue with the video, but for a moment kindly come to section 513 and 514 of the Act. And this is also one of the plus point for the accused person, but also one of the shortcomings for the female accused, because deliberately several police officials do not comply with this limitation, and merely on this technical ground, several complaints, several charge sheets are not committed because they are time bound. So there is a limitation in the law. Now section 513, I guess everyone has opened it. Now section 513 defines, this particular chapter defines the limitation for taking cognizance of certain offences, whereby section 513 says, for the purpose of this chapter, unless the context otherwise requires, period of limitation means period specified in section 514 of the Act for taking the cognizance. Now 514 says, defines the Act under three categories. A, where the offence is punishable up till the punishment of 6 months. तो जहां पे 6 महीने तक की offence की punishment है maximum, वहां पे charge sheet have to be filed और खाली आपका fine जो है कोई एक offence है जो खाली fine से punishable है, तो वहां पे charge sheet have to be compulsorily be filed within 6 months. जैसे ही 6 महीने पूरे होते हैं, वो offence की जो charge sheet है that is time bar. Now the case cannot be commenced. Now the case cannot be committed by the magistrate. जहां पे punishment जो है maximum 1 साल तक की है, अगर 1 साल तक की punishment है, उस सिनेरियो में charge sheet have to be filed within 1 year. जहां पे punishment max exceeding 1 year but less than 3 years है, वहां पे charge sheet have to be compulsorily filed within 3 years from the date of. तो अगर 3 साल के अंदर चार्ज शीट फाइल नहीं होती तो वो आपका ऑफेंस ट्राई भी नहीं होगा, वो कमिट ही नहीं होगा कोर्ट में। अगर 3 साल से ज्यादा है तो उसकी कोई लिमिटेशन नहीं। अब ऐसे कौन से ऑफेंसेस हैं वुमेन के अगेंस्ट, जो कि क्राइम अगेंस्ट वुमेन इज हीनियस क्राइम, सीरियस क्राइम, सबकी पनिशमेंट 10 साल से ऊपर है। ऐसा कौन सा क्राइम है जी जो आपकी पनिशमेंट देता है जहां पे 3 साल से कम की पनिशमेंट? कैसे इंपैक्ट करेगा? एक बार आ जाते हैं चैप्टर 5 पे 2 मिनट के लिए। सेक्शन 67, 2 मिनट आप खोलो इसे। सेक्शन 67 या छोड़ दो, वो वीडियो भी आ दो, मैं तुम्हें वैसे बता दूं। सेक्शन 67 सेक्शन 77 क्या होता है? तो सेक्शन 77 talk about voyeurism. We say that whoever watches or captures the image of a woman engaging in private act in circumstances where she would usually have the expectation of not being observed either by the perpetrator or by any other person at the behest of the perpetrator or disseminate such image shall be punished at the first conviction with the imprisonment of either for the term which shall not exceed 1 year but maximum up till 3 years. तो जहां पे किसी एक पर्टिकुलर वुमेन की फोटोज क्लिक करी जाए विदाउट हर कंसेंट एंड उसको अपलोड किया जाए और एल्स फोटोज हैव बीन क्लिक्ड विद द परमिशन but then have been uploaded without the permission. For the first offence, the punishment is 1 year up till 3 years. So if in such kind of situation जहां पे अगर चार्जशीट ही 3 साल के बाद फाइल हो रही है, तो उस सिनेरियो के अंदर वुमेन के अगेंस्ट जो क्राइम हुआ है वो कमिट ही नहीं हुआ। तो being law students, being the future advocates, it is also a duty to ensure that police, if a complaint have been lodged, if an FIR have been lodged, police also take timely action against it. और सपोज नहीं अगर पुलिस काम नहीं करे, हमें पता है कि पुलिस के ऊपर प्रेशर है, पुलिस करप्ट है, जो दूसरा बंदा था उसने पैसे खिला दिए, XYZ कुछ कर दिया, तो उस सिनेरियो के अंदर being an advocate, being a law student, being the arms of the society, हमारा ये फर्ज है कि हम कोर्ट को अप्रोच करें। अंडर 156 अगेन FIR भी लॉन्च हो गई। 156 पुराने वाले प्रोविजन में क्या था, या तो अगर FIR लॉन्च नहीं होगी तो हम कंप्लेंट करेंगे कोर्ट के अंदर। अब अगर FIR लॉन्च भी हो गई, even then I can go under 156(3) for asking the magistrate to monitor the activity, to monitor the investigation done by the investigation officer. या भाई साहब investigation officer काम नहीं कर रहा, you please monitor him, ask for the action taken report and to direct the investigation officer to file the charge sheet within the time bound manner which have been prescribed under the act. ठीक है? तो this limitation is also very important कि आज हमें कोर्ट एक जगह से दूसरी जगह फीमेल्स को भगाया जाता है तो उसका भी इम्पैक्ट जो है वो वुमेन फेस करती है। कई ऐसे केसेस देखे होंगे जहां पे एक क्राइम अगेंस्ट एक माइनर वुमेन हुए, जब तक ट्रायल शुरू होता है वो माइनर 5 साल की बच्ची 18 साल की हो जाती है, जब तक कंक्लूड होता है वो 18 साल की बच्ची जो है और बड़ी हो जाती है। दो देयर इज स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन इन लॉ इन क्राइम अगेंस्ट चिल्ड्रन shall be concluded within 1 year from the commencement of the trial. Even then वो 1 साल के अंदर नहीं कमिट हो पाता। तो these are the loopholes that we are facing. Back to the video.
ताता हो ही जाएगी। ये सुनने में शायद अपमान लगेगा, लेकिन अपना जुडिशियल सिस्टम कैसा है, केस कमिट हो गया तो बस चलता रहेगा। नाबालिग बालिग हो जाएगी लेकिन नॉर्मल जिंदगी नहीं बिता पाएगी। इंसाफ मिलने तक आप मजबूर करते हैं एक विक्टिम को उसके साथ हुए हादसे की एक एक बारीकी को याद रखने पर, और वो अफसोस करती है कि मैं न्याय की भीख मांगने यहाँ आ ही क्यों गई। 5 करोड़ से ज्यादा केस देश की अदालतों में पेंडिंग है। खुद ही सोच लीजिए कि कितने अपराधी तो खुले घूम रहे होंगे। क्यों नहीं एक स्टैंडर्डाइज व्यवस्था बना सकते आप इसके खिलाफ? पुलिस, अस्पताल और न्याय व्यवस्था के बाद जो आता है वो है समाज। अरे समाज, ये समाज तो एक डेड रेप विक्टिम का नाम और रेप कैसे हुआ ये जानने के लिए इतना उतावला हो जाता है कि पोर्न साइट्स पर उसके नाम को सर्च किया जाता है। यकीन नहीं होगा ना, गूगल ट्रेंड्स का डेटा है। 20 अगस्त को कोलकाता रेप विक्टिम के नाम की सर्च में 150 गुना से भी ज्यादा की ग्रोथ देखी गई। इन सर्चेस में रेप वीडियो, रेप फोटो जैसे कीवर्ड्स थे। यहाँ तक कि पोर्न साइट्स पर विक्टिम के नाम को 3000 बार सर्च किया गया। और रुकिए, टिकटॉक
will be held soon, right? You might have seen in the news channels and all those media that there is one candidate contested from Kalkari by the name of Ramesh Viduri. He was ex-MP and now is contesting for MLA election. So he had also occurred in number of decorating comments against women, saying that women's RPC, like the opponent is RPC a woman candidate. So he has stated that so and so concerned person ने अपना बाप बदल लिया, right? And number of details. It is our responsibility as the candidate, as the citizens of India, that we do take cognizance of these alphabet, these language, and we ensure that such candidates who do not have respect toward women shall not be elected and be sent to the house. Like I am an advocate. I have not seen n number of women who contest election for their rights in the bar. I am also a member of the Professional Ethics Committee of Bar Council of Delhi. I have not seen any elected members of the Bar Council of Delhi to be a woman candidate. Unless until women stand for their rights, unless until women come forward for their rights, no person will be standing. It is you who have to stand for yourself. It is you who have to fight for yourself. Unless until you people raise your voice, unless until females raise their voice, it will be very difficult to stop these kind of crimes. And I feel pleasure that both the student coordinators of this particular college are female, and that is a huge commendable task, right? So women have to come forward. They cannot step back and lead. They cannot step back and expect that someone else will be helping us out. They have to come forward and lead their fight, right?
बंद कर देंगे वोट देना अगर सुरक्षा नहीं दे सकते तो। स्थिति ये है कि ग्लोबल जेंडर गैप रिपोर्ट में इंडिया 2 पायदान और नीचे गिर गया 2023 के मुकाबले। 146 देशों में हम 129वें मार्क पर खड़े हैं। एक और चीज, यूनाइटेड नेशंस के जो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स है ना, उनमें 5th गोल पता है क्या कहता है कि आपको 2030 तक जेंडर इक्वालिटी अचीव करनी है, एम्पावर करना है सारी महिलाओं को और लड़कियों को, एंड इंडिया इज कमिटेड टू इट। जरा सोचिए उन माँ बाप के बारे में जिन्होंने अपनी इन बेटियों को, बहनों को अपनी आंख का तारा बनाकर पाला होगा, और वो जीने की चाह लेकर किसी और की हवस का शिकार होकर मर गई। और शर्म नहीं आती इस समाज को ऐसी दलीलें देते हुए कि उसी की गलती होगी, कपड़े ऐसे होंगे या घड़ी देखकर बाहर नहीं निकली होगी। अरे मासूम बच्चियों से लेकर 60-70 साल की बुजुर्ग महिलाओं के साथ ये हो रहा है, जिन्हें ना अच्छे बुरे का मालूम होता है और ना घड़ी का पता होता है। उम्मीद की कैंडल जलाने से न्याय नहीं मिलता, काम करना पड़ता है, अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स करनी होती है। तो बस ये पोस्टर्स, ये स्लोगन्स मत लिखिए, मत कहिए बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, क्योंकि देश की बेटी पढ़ तो रही है लेकिन बच नहीं रही। मत लिखिए कि नारी का सम्मान देश का सम्मान है, क्योंकि अगर ऐसा ही है तो देश का अपमान करने वाले तो देशद्रोही होते हैं। फिर नारी का अपमान करने वाले कैसे भुला दिए जाते हैं और बरी हो जाते हैं? और देर और अंधेर की तो बात ही मत कीजिए। जब पार्लियामेंट देर रात तक खुल सकती है, टैक्स रजीम के लिए अदालतें चल सकती हैं बेहद अहम मुद्दों के लिए, तो ये मुद्दा आपके लिए अहम कब बनेगा? जब करेंसी बंद हो सकती है रातों रात, तो साफ परिभाषाएं बदली जा सकती हैं, सुधार किए जा सकते हैं, सजाएं तय हो सकती हैं और बेटियां बच सकती हैं। क्योंकि अगर आप जल्दी और सस्ता इंसाफ
that everyone is now tired for the long sessions. Ma'am, you can come and continue.
Thank you so much, sir, for your profound insights on the emerging challenges faced by women and children. Your words have indeed inspired us to advocate for justice and create a safer environment for all. We now open the floor for question and answer session. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you. But kindly note, given the time constraints, I request to focus on few questions.
Hello. So, got a question. How does free legal aid support the victim of crimes against women and children?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. How does free legal aid help support the victims of crime against women and children?
Free legal aid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ma'am, the ambit of legal aid services is very vast. So, what does legal aid service department do with? A, it provides regular awareness camps to the several people, so that people can be made aware about that what are their rights, what are the laws that they can take benefit of. Like this is also a camp which has been organized by the legal aid. A. Secondly, if any kind of offence has been committed against a woman, then women, like majority of the females against whom the crimes occur, at that particular given time, they do not have that mental stability. They do not have an emotional, their EQ comes through a very lower intelligence layer. So in those circumstances, what a woman can do is that a woman can approach the legal aid services, or else they can contact at the number given at the woman aid service, that is 1516. Right? So once they contact at the number, helpline number 1516, what happens is a legal aid advisor or counsel is appointed to assist that particular person, and that particular person help the woman to ensure that justice is done. Right? Any other question? Yes, sir.
So my direct question to respected sir is that
I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, my direct question is that how do lawyers face challenges while providing free legal aids to the marginalized women in society?
How the lawyers provide free legal aid to minors and women?
Marginalized society, women and children.
Minor women and children. Okay. So, sir, see, whenever any sexual offense occurs against a minor, then the legal aid services provide two kinds of assistance. First is that they provide legal aid counsel to the minor, so that that concerned offense can be taken up before the appropriate forum under POSCO Act. Secondly, these kind of children, minor children, are also very vulnerable section. So what does legal aid service do is, legal aid service also provide a counselor who can counsel, who can assist the children in an appropriate manner, so that they do not become deprived of their emotional level, they do not get depressed. So they provide free legal aid. Along with free legal aid, they also provide counselors and psychologists, so that mental health can be also taken into consideration of that particular victim. Any other question? Yes, ma'am.
So my question is, what measures can we take to improve the reporting of the crimes against the women?
Ma'am, the very first measure that any particular society can take is that women have to raise their voice against minutest to minutest crime which occurs against them. If we say that supposedly one of my friends had touched me inappropriately, that is a very minute offense. But then if I keep quiet today, that will encourage the accused person, and he will get encouragement that I can do anything and everything with that concerned person, with the concerned victim. So, women per se have to raise their voice. Thereafter, we have to ensure, we as a state have to ensure that appropriate measures are taken to bring women to a higher pedestal and ensure that laws which have been made, हमने अभी laws पढ़े, laws which have been made are executed in letter and spirit. ये ना हो जाए कि खाली किताबों में लॉ बन के रह जाए और हम उनको एग्जीक्यूट वैसे ही करें कि भाई साहब 20 साल लग रहे हैं 25 साल लग रहे हैं नए लग रहे हैं. These laws should be implemented in letter and spirit in time-bound manner and ensure that females are given justice without giving them harassment, without giving them mental torture by the society. Right? Any other question, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
There is any difference between culpable homicide amounting to death or murder?
Very good. There is difference. When I come to previous IPC, when I come to 299 and 300. So what does culpable homicide not amounting to murder and culpable homicide amounting to murder, that is 300? The only difference is, like, I will not elaborate the topic, but I will explain you in a very short, What happens is, whenever a person dies due to the act of the other person, that will fall under the category of 290, right? Then as soon as the ingredients of 299 are satisfied, as soon as the ingredient of 299 is satisfied, that offence will fall under the section 300. Now section 300 में आ गया वो section fall हो गया. Now section 300 has certain exceptions. Now if the offense fall under any exception of 300, it will fall back to 290. Right? So all offenses done by one person, supposing they are asked you, you had a gun. You were firing the gun. You were doing the honor firing. मेरी शादी के बराती आए हो, and you are doing honor firing. During that honor firing, there was a person enjoying at the terrace. He was enjoying the view of the marriage. During the honor firing, you shot the gun. The bullet got hit on one lamp light, and thereafter reflected lamp light से लगके वो बंदे को लग गई. That concerned person died on the spot. Now what would this offense? मर्डर हुआ 299 की कैटेगरी है.
अपने आप ही क्राइम है कि ऐसे ओपन फायरिंग
criminal offense being treated so basically the crime का होगा when there is mens rea and then there is actus rea.
preparation होती है, practice rea, then accomplishment.
Right? So mens rea का मतलब क्या होता है?
Assert the guilty mind or the
intention. Literal meaning is intention. But 299 के लिए intention काफी है. या खाली intention होनी जरूरी है? Knowledge भी हो सकती है. Knowledge of the fact that if I shoot even in the air और अगर किसी को लग गई तो वो बंदा मर सकता है. Knowledge is there. I do not have the intention. मैं जानता ही उस बंदे को कौन है कौन नहीं. But then I had the knowledge कि अगर गोली चलाई लग गई किसी को बंदा मर जाएगा. Right? So now there we will not fall into the exception in this 299 के ingredient satisfy हो तो सारे 300 में जाएगा. 300 में अगर exception में नहीं आया तो that will be a murder. As soon as any offense falling under 299 now traveling to 300 falls under any of the exception will fall back to 299. अगर नहीं होगा exception के अंदर fall तो 300 रहेगा. अगर exception में fall होता है तो 299 में fall back हो जाएगा. Clear? Any other question? Yes, ma'am.
Sir, my question is, what legal protections are currently lacking for women and children?
What legal protection
are currently lacking for women and children?
Ma'am, for women and children, the legal provisions that are lacking, I would say that provisions are not lacking. I would rather say that there is a lack of a knowledge among the society at large. B, there is a fear among the society that if we raise a voice, any offense, आज अगर मेरे मैं एक लड़की हूँ मेरा रेप होता है, तो it is presumed कि अगर मैंने केस किया, तो that will hamper my reputation, my image, my identity would be revealed. So fear should have been कि जिसने offense किया है, that should be the person जिसकी reputation सही होनी चाहिए. But यहाँ पे वो क्या रहा है, जिसके साथ offense होता है, women's के केस में, children के केस में, जिसके साथ offense होता है, that person is victimized and that person is harassed. कि तुम्हारी तो इज्जत लुट गई या कुछ हो गया. Rather it should have been कि जिसने offense किया है, he should have been the person जिसकी image खराब होनी थी, right? तो यहाँ पे we are lacking awareness, we are lacking societal pressure. Unless until the society keeps on pressurizing the victim, the provisions will not be executed to the letter and spirit. We are also lacking the intention of the executive and of the legislature. Unless until we keep on electing such kind of people who do not have, who themselves are culprits of women, crime against women. Unless until we keep on promoting these kind of mutant person, then we will not be able to execute any of the laws. In order to execute laws, a woman has to come forward. If at all there is any case against them, if at all they are victim of any of the offense, also women also have to come forward in the administrative side, be it electoral form, be it in judiciary, be it in police department, so that the emotional trouble, emotional trauma faced by these kind of victims can be dealt with sensitivity. Right? Any other question? Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Great pleasure that we invite Dr. Ma'am and Dr. Ma'am to present a token of appreciation, a small memento to remember this special occasion.
To conclude this enlightening session, I would like to invite our faculty coordinator, Dr. Ma'am, to deliver the code of Good afternoon, everyone present here. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks in today's event. On behalf of the organization, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Mr. Sarabjit Singh Narula, Managing Partner and Litigation Head in Resourceperson. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank all present here for making the time to be with us today and helping us to make this event more memorable. Last but not the least, I must extend gratitude to the supporting staff for their extended support. Thank you, one and all.